Yo, welcome in to Lights Out, or should I let Lou do the intro to that?
He's already done it.
I know. I mean, I can play it off my phone. Or do you want to just try to do it?
No, I don't have the. I'm not really. What's the word I'm looking for? Retention.
What is that a word?
That is a word. If it's a word, retention is definitely a word.
No, retention is a word. I don't know if it necessarily meant what you meant it to me, but retention is a word.
No, I did not retain my rap that I because it took me too much time on my boot.
No, Jeff got it. So he was playing it for me earlier. It was pretty dope.
I wonder if let me see if I can pull this up. See if I mean,
because we've been talking about getting an intro song, and that's it.
All right, let's see if I can do this. Y'all ready?
Yeah. This is Lou.
Wait, I didn't know this was going public.
I don't have it on speaker. Damn.
Yeah,
see, Jeff can't do nothing right now.
I can't do anything right. But anyways, welcome into Lights Out, y'all. Lights Out with Lou Savarese. We're sitting over here at Fight Fit, Lou Savarese's gym at 4215 Bel Air Boulevard. Lou, tell us a little bit about what goes down over here, man, because obviously we see the state-of-the-art facility that you have here. What do you do here?
It's not your average boxing gym by any means. I mean, we have two gyms. We have one downtown that's a little bit more aroma down there. It smells like a gym. Over here, it's we really got some incredible weights, a lot of high intensity training we do during our boxing classes and stuff too. We do a lot of privates here too. Yeah, I mean,
you told me I need to come in for my private, but I'm going to have to work out a little bit before I come in here. I'm not doing that.
Okay. We're not going to have you boxing because but we can get you one on
one. Why can't you have me boxing?
Well, your record's not very good.
Oh, yeah.
You need your gray matter, too.
Well, it sounds like he's 0-2 so far.
Well, I mean, I'm not that bad. I just didn't think that my brother was going to hit me in the face. We've gone over this before.
All right.
I punch him.
Let's move forward.
But isn't that what it's about, though, is being prepared? Prepared for that?
I wasn't prepared. I was drunk. All right, so
okay.
Blame it on that.
The plot thickens.
Yeah, the plot thickens.
That's never a good thing when you're drinking.
So then your brother wasn't?
No, he was drunk.
Okay, well,
so you got a BWI, boxing while intoxicated. That's happened.
A BWI?
Yeah, you know what? My buddy Jerry Cooney, actually, he never fought the fight drunk, but when he fought Foreman, 3 or 4 days before the fight, he was drinking. It was crazy.
He was drunk.
Yeah,
3 or 4 days before he fought George Foreman.
Yeah, before he fought George Foreman. And
dude, where'd he go? We should call him.
Jerry?
Yeah,
he's
dude.
the best.
I love Jerry.
He's a great guy. I talked to him today. He's a good guy. He's got a cool podcast too.
Does he stay up late in New York time?
No. He's getting old. He doesn't stay up late. We could probably. He might be.
Got to comment on.
I don't want to make him angry.
Got to comment on the jacket today too, man.
We talk boxing, man. We want to talk about my jacket.
Well, you said you're the best dressed boxer.
Yeah,
so
you did.
That's what you said.
I did not say that. I said I'm the best dressed boxer.
That's right.
Oh, okay. My bad. You did say that.
This is Lights Out, y'all, with Lou Savarese, myself, and Grant Miles. Welcome in. Thank y'all for paying attention and joining us. We got a little crowd here.
We do
at Fight Fit. We got Josh and Mark from Construction Concepts behind us. We got your boy here's had 2 sanctioned fights here.
Steven, man. I wanted Steven to come up here and meet Lou. Steven likes boxing. We'll be sitting when he's supposed to be doing work at work. He's watching boxing matches,
grab Lou's phone and share it again because I got to get these people from New York.
What are we doing?
I need your phone. Yeah, we got to share the show because your dudes from New York are hysterical. Your cousin, what was his name?
Guido.
Dude, this guy. Wait till y'all hear this guy talk about
issues.
Lou. He's got issues, yeah. But thank you for joining in, man. We got an hour to talk here.
Look, we got a card girl in the back behind us.
Yeah, we got a card girl going around.
The beautiful Trinity.
Okay, thank you, Trinity.
Got it. Johnny J, thanks for setting this all up for us. Appreciate you, Johnny.
Hold on, it's going to take about probably 15 minutes for Lou to get inside his phone.
Yeah, it takes a while.
No, this is Instagram. I need Facebook, man.
Oh, my goodness.
It's all good, man.
I'm starting to rethink this.
It's all good. It's all good. It's got an F.
While Lou's getting into that, I've got some current news to go over with you guys. Number one, the biggest draw that would be Holyfield and Tyson apparently are back in talks. They've been in talks for a fight in Dubai now. $200 million is the opening line that I see for this fight.
Wow.
I mean,
that's why a lot of fights are going to Dubai. The normal rhetoric for a fight is you make the fight, then they put up for a purse bid. And so Dubai, you're seeing a lot of UFC stuff go over there, a lot of fights, and they're paying big money.
Yeah, I mean, because of the COVID stuff or whatever, with the fights can't happen in Vegas like they usually do. And you mentioned a great thing last episode about they pay for the fights.
Yeah.
And that's why Vegas can't get, like Dubai's winning all these fights because they actually pay the money to get them there.
Yeah. So a purse bid, that's what they do. And, the highest bidder wins.
That's crazy. I mean, I would watch Tyson Holyfield.
I can't get to his thing.
Well, I mean,
Tyson still looks good. I just don't know Holyfield. I mean,
I don't know. I've listened to Holyfield do some interviews, and I'm not sure if Holyfield needs to be hit anymore.
Yeah, he took a lot of punches, but he had probably one of the best chins in boxing.
Give me
Top 10, you know.
No, we got to get Lou's phone because I don't know.
It's not.
It's an iPhone 1. It's nice.
It's an iPhone 1. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
iPhone 1. Oh my god.
Hey,
No, legitimately. What number is that? Do you know?
I have no idea.
I don't know how y'all did this last time.
I don't know.
You don't know? Okay.
Anyways, we got Tyson and Holyfield to talk about. Tony Burns, did you know him?
No.
Tony Burns passed away. Apparently, an incredible trainer. I don't know.
Burns?
Is it Burns? Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Tony Burns.
Tony Burns. We got to get Lou's Facebook up, man. I don't know how to. I don't know how to do this. I tried it. I got to get these dudes from New York on here, man. These guys are great.
I got to ask DeMarcus. DeMarcus, you ever hear of Tony Burns, a trainer? Who did he train?
Who'd he train?
Yeah.
Well, there's a couple of, Virgil Ortiz and Maurice Hooker are set to fight. Do you know either one of them?
Yeah.
Okay, well, here, you work on that.
Okay.
Tony Burns. Well, we got to get Lou's phone up because
I'm trying, dude. I'm trying.
Give me this.
Yeah, I don't think you're getting internet. But no, I looked at here. Tony Burns. Just so anybody wants to know, he trained Audley Harrison, John H. Tracy, Maurice Hope. Those are some of the ones that he's trained
Harrison
before.
was out of the UK. I wonder if he was a UK.
Well, and that's what it looks like. It looks like he's most of his boxers come from UK. 45 years at the gym, 300 boxers. Like that's. I mean, what's the lifespan of a trainer?
I may have met him
like
when I fought Tyson because we went to this gym and the guy was a famous trainer. He had all these like pictures and posters. It was amazing. That was on the way to Scotland. We stopped in London. It was really really cool. The gym.
Lou, give Johnny your phone or something because I need your boys from New York to chime in. Peter Belmonte said,
great guy.
and I gotta ask you this because you posted something on your social media with this fucking cow. What was the deal with? And he said he goes, tell us about this transgender bull.
No, I bought my daughter Claire. I bought her this. It was a. Hold on, it was very confusing. It was a cow. I thought it was a cow, but it had horns.
Ashley,
I had horns. And,
Here, you got to unlock it first, Lou. I don't know the password.
No, it's not online.
Lou, because we're missing a lot of people from New York that are going to be on here. You got to get your phone. You got to share it.
Go ahead. Dude, let me get it online.
You don't even know how to share. Get on your Facebook. Give it to Ashley.
No, I don't think he's got internet on it. I think that's part of the problem. Yeah, I think you got to link up to the Wi-Fi or get your internet.
You don't have internet on your phone?
No, he's got internet on the phone. I'm just saying as far as like linking into it to get it done.
You don't want to talk about it? All right, well. That's fine. We won't talk about your internet.
Talk about.
Does anybody in here not have internet on their phone? Like there's like 20 people. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. So Virgil Ortiz and Maurice Hooker are supposed to match up pretty soon, which seems to be a pretty good fight. Do you know anything about either one of these fighters?
Yeah, Ortiz he's a tough, really tough guy. I mean, from Cuba originally, he's a tough dude. I mean, all the Cubans, they're just they're really really tough guys, and I would say probably. When I was fighting amateur, those guys were probably the Cubans were the best, and then the Russians were second, and then Americans third.
Let me ask you this: when it comes to boxing and the different cultures, countries, can you tell a fighting difference between them? Like, can you see? Can you watch a Cuban boxer and go, "That's a Cuban boxer"?
Yeah, I mean, the especially the Cubans or the Russians, they used to keep their hand out here, kind of like Ivan Dragov did, but they would keep their hand out there. You could tell there was another guy, Yuri Valulin, and you could tell where they're from, the way they fight.
Is it just their stance, or is it the way that their strategy? What's their?
Yeah, well, a lot of the guys until recently, because you weren't allowed to fight pro, so most of them had an amateur style where they weren't worried about hitting so hard. They were more worried about scoring points. But now that a lot of the places are turning pro, so guys are getting more of a pro style, which is you can throw more power and not worry about scoring points.
And so that's a different boxing strategy if you're going to be boxing as an amateur and compared to being a professional fighter.
I mean, a prime example was Henry Tillman. Tillman beat Tyson in the amateurs to go to the Olympics, and then Tyson just annihilated them in the pros because you had 3 rounds, and when you get to the pros, the guy's got 10 rounds to go and knock you out.
Okay,
I know how to do your phone. Pull me up on your Facebook.
We're gonna get this shit going. I'm telling you,
it doesn't.
This is gonna happen.
We got to get it because I got to have your cousins on here. Those guys are hysterical, man. They'll be on here. They're probably wondering why the hell they can't watch. It's probably because you guys, if you're paying attention, listening on our podcast or watching us here, go to Lights Out on Facebook. Like us, and then obviously it'll show everything on there. We post there daily.
What's that?
Settings, I'm not online.
Okay. But I got to get into it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. There you go.
Here we go. Now just go into my Facebook and share it from Lou.
No, we got to get the setting, get it online.
Yeah, we got to get
bad. I'm
online,
telling
man.
you
That's the
guys what to
problem.
You're not even online, Lou. Man,
Something happened. Dude,
It's all good.
I'm not like a nerd like you. I'm just sit there and play with my phone all day. I got things to do, man. I got to work. And,
I'm like the furthest thing from a nerd.
Oh, my God. Sorry.
But I do know how to get on the internet on my phone. You don't need a nerd to do that.
Come on.
Yeah, you don't seem like somebody
I'm
that's going to
old
be on your
school.
phone a whole lot.
No.
I don't see that happening with you.
Oh, I know. It's either 4:30 in the morning or 11:30 at night. It's ridiculous, but it's all right. That's how Lou does his thing. Now I know you go jogging at 4:35 in the morning.
I'm not jogging right now. I got my boot on, man.
Yeah, what happened?
I can. He doesn't know. He just said that it's real rare, but he said that the tendon is removing from one of the metal. I can't say that word. Conversate. But anyway,
Conversate.
You just bringing up words.
Yeah,
I like that. That's good, man.
While we're on, while we're trying to figure out Lou's phone and get him plugged in, Billy Joe Saunders is in line to fight Canelo after Canelo apparently is going to beat Avini, who we talked
I
about
just
last
don't know
week.
the Wi-Fi.
This Wi-Fi thing is crazy.
It is.
Just give me your password to your Facebook, Lou. Jesus.
I have no idea. Oh my God. Are you kidding me?
I don't know what's going on.
Are you kidding me?
It's great.
Oh my gosh. So, anyways, Canelo, obviously the hottest fighter in boxing right now, is in line to fight Billy Joe Saunders after he fights Avini. They're just assuming he's going to beat Avini.
What about not to go backwards, but is it going to be an exhibition, or what's going to happen with Canelo and Ryan Garcia? Are they saying it's an exhibition, or it's going to be an real fight?
Garcia's in line to fight.
They're not. So him and Canelo are going to fight.
No, him and
Pacquiao.
Pacquiao, yeah.
Pacquiao.
Yeah, no. So that's going to fight, and they're still in an exhibition. As far as I know, exhibition fight for Ryan Garcia and Pacquiao, which would be interesting, except for, like you said, it's an exhibition, which sucks. Like, who wants that exhibition fight? And speaking of exhibitions, have you seen what Floyd Mayweather came out and said today?
No.
Floyd Mayweather now is going to fight both those dipshit U2 guys, all right, and then fight 50 Cent.
Really?
All exhibition fights.
Well, no. So the way he said,
Exhibition.
we're talking about Mayweather, right?
Yeah.
Mayweather. So he said he's going
He
to.
was joking. I hope.
He's going to fight. According to the story, he's going to fight Jake Paul.
Yeah.
And then 50 Cent. Oh, so he's going to fight Logan Paul first, and then he's going to fight Jake Paul and 50 Cent.
I don't think 50 Cent's a fighter.
No, well,
No,
I
he's
mean,
not.
I would say none of these guys are.
Yeah, they have
is what I
internet
would
beef.
say. Yeah.
That's terrible.
It's
But,
awful.
I mean, yeah, people are going to watch it. I mean,
Yeah, we got to.
We're gonna fix that.
We got to get Lou's phone online.
But yeah, no, and even like,
Like Lou's like, don't take off on my goddamn
it's just,
phone.
all you got to do is get on Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
I don't have it.
well, even the other day, I think we posted this on Lights Out. Teofimo Lopez. I mean, he's even had enough of it. I mean, he's getting to a point now where he's commenting
Yeah, I
about
saw
it
that
and
today.
talking about.
Actually, Cooney and him are good friends, and Cooney sent me an article where he was, getting angry about it and saying, just. And I'm with him. I'm more of a boxing purist. I mean, it's a little bit of a kind of a catch-22 because it still brings, it makes the popular boxing very popular right now. So.
And I saw, because I posted that on Lights Out, I saw a couple of comments already where people are like, boxing is coming back. And to your point, like we had talked about before, it does bring boxing to the forefront, and not necessarily a negative light, because hopefully these big fights will happen that are supposed to happen.
Yeah,
But you do want more viewers, because boxing has been in a stalemate for 15, 20 years almost, until Tyson came back.
It's hard. I mean, because I have guys at the other gym and guys here. Most of our trainers here are fighters, and they're struggling, just to get by a little. And then you get guys that haven't, they paid their dues for a long time, and then now they're going to, now they're going to, fight, and they never haven't done anything. I mean, haven't fought the amateurs. These guys, I mean, some of them have been fighting for, 15 years before they even turned pro. Some of the lightweights. I mean, it's crazy. So. It's kind of, I don't really like it.
There's some crazy fights. There's some crazy fights. The top fight's coming up in February, and these are all, I don't want to say low budget. I don't know the exact, verbiage to use, but you got the fights in February. Miguel Berchelt versus Oscar Valdez.
Oh, that's tough, yeah.
So that's a fight coming up in February.
That's a good
Josh Kelly and David Avanalian, and Carl Frampton and Jamel Herring, which is probably the most like high profile fight.
Frampton's. I mean, I think he's getting up there, but he's from the UK. Frampton, he's a tough guy, real tough guy.
So these aren't heavyweights. Like there's no the only heavyweight fight coming in, which would be something that your weight class, whatever, would be the Tyson Holyfield, but that's not set in stone yet.
Yeah.
And everybody probably wants to see that, the trilogy, right? You want to see Tyson Holyfield.
Tyson Joshua. Is that what you're talking about?
No. Tyson Holyfield.
Oh, Tyson Holyfield. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, now I don't know if that one's going to be an exhibition. Is it going to be the 2-minute round bullshit again? I don't know. Like, but I would watch that.
Holyfield, he would want to probably do the 3-minute rounds, and Tyson probably don't want to do the 2-minute rounds. I mean, I was with Holyfield when he trained for that Tyson fight. It was ingenious. The first fight, the trainer was he had a really good strength coach. The guy was his name was Tim Hallmark. He had Holyfield go from light heavyweight. He was the strength and conditioning guy that brought him up to heavyweight. But it was amazing when they trained for that fight. It looked like Holyfield had never fought before, and just looking and saying what's going on. And what he did, he had realized was that Tyson's fundamentals had gotten so down, so he went back to basics. I mean, it just looked like a kid that was training for learning how to jab. And the other thing that was interesting, they would only spar. They started out sparring 1-minute rounds, like a minute all out, and they worked it up to where he could do like 4 rounds just straight through, nonstop, as hard as he could go, and it worked out. It seemed it worked out perfect because Tyson got tired and Holyfield was still coming on.
So it was just getting back to basics then for him.
Yeah, it was so smart because they saw that when Tyson got away from his original, Rooney and those guys, his fundamentals started breaking down. He started getting real tall in the clinch. It used to be when he got in the clinch, you were done. I mean, but then when he started, his fundamentals started kind of lacking without having a trainer behind him.
When you fought Tyson, was that kind of your expectation too?
Yeah, we wanted to get him into later rounds, obviously. That's the way to do it. I mean, that's my strong point. I was always in good shape. And, Tyson had a lot going on right then. And so that was our thing to get him into later rounds, but it didn't work.
What typically would you say, Tyson? Is it just strictly because he just wasn't used to fighting deep into a fight that he got that way, or just the way he trained?
No, when he was younger. He was younger, but obviously his style, he's just the type of guy that's going to take you out of there early. But as he got older and his training wasn't as good as it used to be, so that was the thing. You want to try to get him into later rounds. That's what Holyfield did. And Holyfield had such a good chin too, but he just everything worked out perfect on that fight.
So do you think if he had different training? Well, we all know his personal part of it, but do you think if he had some different training aspects in his boxing career, it could have been a little bit different for him?
Oh yeah, I think if he stayed with the original guys with Rooney and Customato, I think that would have those guys were really they were very with him. They were behind him. It was almost like a family, and they would King got him, and then he kind of went downhill with King.
I got a question for you, and we discussed this a little bit ago on the previous show. By the way, all these shows will be up on our podcast, Lights Out with Lou Savarese, so look for that wherever you get your podcasts, and they'll all be on there. The mob, I was reading an article about the mob running boxing in the 30s and 40s and even into the 50s in New York, and you have mentioned this before about how much it was controlled and still kind of is controlled, or was at least until...
Yeah, no, it probably, there's no more, it's just not, there's so much money on the back end that it's not feasible really anymore. The last, Blinky Palermo was the big one that everybody went with. He was the big guy. You really had to go with him. If you remember the movie The Raging Bull, that was a big conundrum for he took a dive actually. Jake LaMotta took a dive against Billy Fox, and he did that sort of mob. They set that all up.
Well, I was it's funny you bring that up because I was reading that. So when they talk about that about the Billy Fox, it says this is what he said. LaMotta said, he said, "I purposely lost the fight to Billy Fox because they promised me that I would get a shot to fight for the title if I did."
Yes.
And when you read about all that stuff, and especially with how influential these guys were on that, it's crazy where all their hands were in all these fights.
Well, LaMotta, grew up really with all the mob guys. His brother Joey was, he was with mob guys. I don't know if he was a made guy, but he was with mob guys all the time. Yeah. So he was really in the mix.
Let me see your phone now, because apparently I don't want you to go live. I need you to share the show live.
I have no idea.
Is it on? Did you share it? Let me see.
Did I share it?
Yeah, it might be. Let's see.
Well, and then I also saw they were also talking about Graziano. He says Graziano always maintained his innocence, saying years later, somebody called me on the phone in Stillman's gym, says, "I'll give you $50,000 to throw this here fight." And I told the guy to go. It says here, I told the guy to go take a crap for himself.
Well, Graziano, this is really interesting. Graziano and LaMotta never fought, and the rumor was, and a good rumor, they were saying that they were both in jail together, and Graziano beat him up in jail, and and LaMotta never wanted to fight him, but Graziano wanted to fight him. Graziano was tough.
Well, and I saw they keep bringing up the international. I think. Let's see. I mean, I'm gonna just make sure I get this right. It was Frankie Carbo and the International Boxing Commission. Am I saying that correctly?
Yeah. They were out of Philly. Carbo was out of Philly.
There we go.
They were, but New York had up until probably the last guy that was Gotti. Was a little bit around boxing, but he wasn't really a big factor in it.
What was it that finally got them out of it?
Well, I think it's more not so much got them out of boxing, got them out of a lot of the crime is the RICO statute where the RICO statute is basically you can't conspiring to commit a crime, and so I mean the mob there's not really much mob left in New York anymore.
But you said that was kind of why you kind of got away a little bit, right?
Yeah,
just
my dad,
he
just didn't want me to be around that, and we came down here, and I signed with a really neat lady, Josephine Abercrombie. It was really interesting story. She was a wealthy debutante and got into boxing down here. My manager started her boxing. It was called Houston Boxing Association. She had a couple world champions too. They had Calvin Grove. They had Orlando Gonzalez, to me the most underrated fighter ever. The guy was amazing.
Yeah.
Well, again, we're sitting over here welcoming in Lou Savarese over here at Fight Fit at his gym. Yeah, you shared it. We're good to go now.
Oh, I shared it.
It's 26 minutes later.
So I can conversate with my friends in New York?
Yeah, if they jump on, of course you can.
Let's conversate.
Yeah, we're sitting over here at Fight Fit with Lou Savarese, myself, Grant Miles, and Lou. Man, thank you for having us in here, man. This is going to be an every Wednesday thing. We're going to go live at 8 p.m. The podcast will be available on Thursdays. Bright and early in the morning for you to listen to on your way to the car or whatever you got going on. But we're going to do this every Wednesday at 8 with Lou. We're going to go over current boxing stuff and older boxing stuff. Grant Miles is incredible when he brings up old stuff. And
incredible.
Lou's a connoisseur when it comes to boxing. Like, I've never, ever met somebody that remembers so fucking much. Like,
my short term is terrible.
Your short term? That's good.
I remember long.
I can tell.
Yeah, you couldn't remember your fucking Facebook password.
Stop. You know what's going to be really cool? I was thinking about it today. It'd be so much fun, too, from the other gym. Because we have, to me, it's probably, if not the best trainer out there right now, he's probably definitely top 5. Bobby Benton used to be my trainer. He's a young guy, but he's an amazing trainer, and he's got some really, really great fighters. We can get them on the show, too. We got right here, it's literally right here in Houston, there's a plethora of just great fighters, man.
Good talent here in Houston. And you train some downtown as well.
Yeah, Bobby's the main guy down there. Bobby Benton, he was my trainer, but they have, Regis Prograis. They have,
hey, I got to say, Guido, you shared it just 2 minutes ago, and Guido's already on. And he said, you can't even remember where your keys are. Like, I swear to God.
Really? You should talk.
I love Guido. Guido, just keep commenting, man. This guy's awesome. Welcome in the guys from New York. John Savarese.
That's my brother.
Your brother is watching. Yeah. What's up, John? Good to see you, man.
I guarantee he's eating.
Did he knock you out like mine did?
No.
Okay.
He even dream about beating me. He'd wake up and apologize. There's no way.
He said he guarantee you he's eating.
Yeah,
all right, but in New York it's 9:30.
He's been cut off from 12 buffets. I'm serious.
Are you serious?
Yep. It's bad. He put a couple out of business, and then he's really.
John,
is that something you brag about? Is that something he brags about? Putting buffets out of business? Hey, I'd brag about that. That'd be awesome.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, he does.
Hell yeah.
But we're halfway through the show. Again, we're sitting here with Lou Savarese. Want to welcome everybody that's watching, and now we've got a few more people. Welcome in Ed and
my
John.
My brother John is the sole reason I was a boxer. We fought almost every day. We were really close, but we fought like every day. Literally.
You became a boxer at like what, 8?
No, we would box. My dad would have us. He just wanted to be able to defend ourselves, teach us. But me and my brother would spar in the garage. He was better than me, but I wouldn't give up. So I'd chase him up the stairs, hit him in the back of the head. And stuff, and he didn't have that good of stamina. So
your brother,
older, younger?
He's older.
Older?
He's older. Yeah.
How much older?
He's 15 months older.
Okay.
John, we do have his phone. We've been fucking with that for 30 minutes, man. Trust me, it's been a nightmare. So you're not wrong on that. He asked me to ask you where your phone is, but it's right here. We got it. Ed said, how many cows were killed to make that jacket? So, I love Ed. I love when Ed Guido, is that really his last name?
Yes, it is.
His last name is Guido, and he lives in New York.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And he's a good dancer.
That's pretty good.
And a good dancer, that's right.
He is a good dancer.
We talked about that.
Hey,
his moves have probably been antiquated now. That means not.
How many nuns knocked you out in school? What's that mean?
Yeah, some of my nuns were tougher than most of my opponents.
So you went to Catholic school?
I did, yeah, until I got thrown out. I did have the lowest GPA in my Catholic high school, but
there you go.
Until Guido came, and then he had the lowest GPA.
Well, so what does he got to do to get kicked out of a Catholic school? I figured
I had a few fights.
Okay,
yeah,
all right.
A few fights.
I figure they're pretty. You know. They
Did John go to school with you too?
I was the baby, and I was the only one to get kicked out.
So he was a grade above you.
Yes, yeah, he was a grade above.
And he didn't get kicked out.
No, he didn't get kicked out. He should have, but he didn't.
He should have, but he didn't.
I was ADD way before it was trendy. I was like, they just don't
I love
know
that line. I love it when you say that. That's awesome.
Oh, wait till I pull up his rap later. Like, this is unbelievable. Like, just stay tuned. John, Lou's gonna rap here in a little bit. It's fantastic.
We're gonna play the other one. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
It's fantastic. You got some history to go over, Grant? Let's get into some history.
Yeah, dude. First, before we go, I just wanted to ask you, just speak a little bit about the boxing culture here in Houston. I mean, you know, because there's so much is happening and going on now in Texas and just in boxing.
It's a great topic because when I came here in '89, when I first moved down here, it was crazy. I mean, for heavyweights was to get sparring because there wasn't that many heavyweights. But down here, you had Foreman making his comeback. You had Lou Duva, who was one of the greatest managers. That was main events. So Duva had his whole camp it was in Galena Park out there. Kenny Weldon, who was the head trainer out there, but so there was so many heavyweights down there. It was like it was just amazing. I mean, to go to that gym, and I would stay in the gym an hour or two after my workouts because it was just so cool to watch these guys sparring. I mean, it was being a young guy, it was just amazing watching all these guys. The first time down there, I saw Camacho spar with Roger Mayweather. It was one of the probably the craziest thing I've ever seen in boxing. Yeah, Mayweather. That's what's his name's uncle, Floyd's uncle.
Yeah, Floyd's uncle.
Yeah, the guy was crazy. So he made Camacho. He said, "Stop!" Like something was in his eyes. So you have an etiquette in boxing and sparring, and he did that, and then he just knocked Camacho out cold when Camacho stopped. And then it was a big fight, and it was so cool. I was calling all my friends.
Wow!
How old were you?
I was 22 or 23. Yeah.
Wow,
you were a big dude at 22 and 23, though. You're 6'4", 6'6". What are you now?
What do you think? I'm shrinking?
I was going to say,
I'm just saying.
6'5".
6'5".
Yeah.
Well, shit, I got it right in the middle. You know,
you got mad. Yeah,
I'm on Guido's side.
I think you're Guido.
I'm gonna be friends with Guido and John.
Yeah, good for that.
You're not as funny as those guys.
I've been writing notes all day long. That's a good question.
You'll definitely lose weight. They'll be eating all the food.
All right, so do I go do my thing now?
Let's go.
All right. I love talking to you about history, man. This is one of the things that I like about doing this is just getting your take on it. I know we talk a lot about, and oftentimes what we do when we do this is we talk about guys you've already talked about, but I think every time I bring them up, you always add something different to it, which I love. So as everybody knows that have watched this before, we kind of do the week, we review the week, and so January 31st, this past week, Sunday, 1941, in his 13th title defense, Joe Louis KO'd Red Berman in the 5th round at Madison Square Garden.
Louis, to me, was probably maybe the best heavyweight or top 3 or 4. He wasn't a huge guy, but he fought in an era that the heavyweights were amazing. I think the best era of heavyweights was when Ali was around. Even the bad guys were good, but Louis was, he fought so many, he fought way until he was too old too. Marciano knocked him out and felt so bad when Over picked him up. It was really, really sweet when they fought each other.
I didn't know Marciano had an undefeated record.
Yeah.
I did not know that until I looked it up the other day, and we had talked about how Floyd 50-0, and Tyson called him out saying there's been better fighters that have been right.
Well, and then Holmes, if you remember, Holmes was going for the record, and he lost to Michael Spinks, and Holmes, he never forgave that. He was so angry, and he said something which wasn't fair. He said something derogatory about. He said that Marciano couldn't hold his jockstrap, but you put a microphone in the guy's face right after he loses a controversial decision.
Damn.
Holmes was a class actor. Just it was a moment of.
Larry Holmes seemed like a gentle giant, right? So everybody else talked like after the fights, they would talk shit. They would have something to say. Tyson, I'm gonna eat your children, which happened after your fight.
Yeah.
Everybody, is brass and cocky. When after they win, but Holmes always seemed kind of level-headed.
Now he was a very smart guy. He said using his jab, he had probably the best jab in boxing, one of the top 5. But he would say it was like painting a picture. He would get guys to do what he wanted by dictating with the jab. He had an amazing jab.
Your brother wants me to ask you who was the best driver. And then on the flip side of that, Guido turns around and says, "Go to bed, John. You're embarrassing the family."
This is true. I can't believe it was that late. Wow.
9:30, man. I appreciate y'all paying attention to Lights Out with Lou Savarese every Wednesday at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock New York time or Eastern time. So, yeah, we're here, man. We're going to have fun for another 30 minutes. So what else you got?
All right, it's February 1st, 1965. Former heavyweight boxing champion Floyd Patterson.
Oh, what a gentleman.
Beats Canadian George Chuvalo.
Chuvalo was tough. Patterson, he was one of the nicest guys I met in boxing. We didn't live too far from each other. Just a gentleman, one of the nicest guys. He was really just well liked. I mean, he was a soft-spoken guy. He was the thing about him, he had a glass jaw. And if you looked at Customato was his trainer. Customato did that. He called it the peekaboo style to cover so he didn't get hit in the chin. And because if he got hit in the chin, he'd usually go down. But they did that, and he did the same style with Tyson too. The same thing, keeping his hands up in the chin cover. But Patterson was a great fighter.
You know, one of the things I've noticed in our times talking to you about boxing is when I've referenced a lot of boxers, current and in the past, one of the first things you say is super nice guy.
Yeah.
And when you think of the boxing profession, you don't think of super nice guys.
I'll be honest, I'm not kidding. I mean, I met Tyson. That was the only guy I didn't like, and I got to like him. I mean, I ran into him a couple of times, but it's just all the guys. There's not much false bravado. They're not looking to. Almost all of them are really nice guys. One guy was Pernell Whitaker. He passed, but guys just didn't like
Pernell Sweet Pea Whitaker.
Yeah. Nobody. He had kind of a bad name. Camacho was crazy.
I love it how you have an incredible relationship with Cooney, the Great White Hope.
That's one of the coolest things in my whole life. Because
we're gonna have him on.
He was
soon.
like my idol, and so I wound up. It was great. I told the story. I hitchhiked to his club one time, and I got there and I had fake ID, and they wouldn't let me in. I was so pissed. It was 2 hours.
You did. You mentioned that on the other show, and he joined us on the other show, and he's going to join us on this show hopefully soon, maybe next week.
Yeah, I talk to him almost every day. He's a great guy.
Man, reading up on him, and you've mentioned this as well. The hardest hitter that anybody's ever fought.
Yeah, gym guys say that. They say even harder than Tyson, harder than Foreman. They say he was the hardest puncher with the left hook. He had a huge left hook. He was a converted southpaw, and so his left hook was crazy.
We'll get him on.
All right, February 2nd, 1892. I go way back.
There.
The longest boxing match under modern rules, 77 rounds.
Damn.
In Illinois.
What does that mean under modern rules, though?
Well, because the Marcus of Queensbury, before that, remember we said it was I think it was something like 200 rounds.
Yeah.
But when the Marcus of Queensbury, they brought that in, so we had the 3-minute rounds, and so 77 rounds. Wow.
Yeah.
You gotta be in shape for that.
February 2nd. Yeah.
No,
come here to fight fit. Get in shape for your
times it by 4.
77.
Times it by 4. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That's a dinger.
That's crazy.
Wow.
February 2nd, 1980, Mexican boxer Salvador Sanchez dethrones Danny Little Red Lopez in WBC World
I thought Salvador Sanchez was Puerto Rican. I didn't know he died in a car accident, a Porsche, driving a Porsche.
Yeah.
It says he was Mexican? I didn't know.
That's what it says, yeah.
DeMarcus.
Turn to his
I don't know why I thought he was from Puerto Rico.
That was his 8th defense.
Yeah, he was a beast. They say
the little things that you remember. You remember he died in a car wreck, but you also remember in a Porsche.
Yeah,
like, you remember details that are phenomenal.
It was sad because he was going to go down as probably one of the greatest fighters ever. He died pretty young.
Well, I'm sorry. It was Lopez. It was his 8th defense against Salvador.
Okay.
Yeah. February 3rd, 1980. Funny, we were just talking about it. February 3rd, 1980. Larry Holmes TKOs Lorenzo Holmes in 6 for heavyweight boxing title.
Yeah, that was early on. Holmes, the other Holmes wasn't very.
Wasn't good?
No, he wasn't. No, it was the easy fight for Holmes.
We talk about him often. February 5th, 1943, Jake LaMotta defeats future multi-weight world boxing champion Sugar Ray Robinson by unanimous points decision in Detroit in the second of their 6 meetings.
Yeah, it was crazy.
His only win of their rivalry.
And he never went down. That was a big thing that he never went down against Robinson. And remember, that's debated. They said that, but that was crazy. I mean,
they fought 6 times.
Yeah, 6 times. And guys would fight literally 3 times in 1 month. I mean, these guys were. Man's man, I mean, it was crazy.
Well, and that was Robinson's first loss in his first 40 bouts.
Yeah, the first one he ever lost was to...
Joe D'Ambrosio says Wilfredo Gomez was Puerto Rican.
Okay.
Okay, well.
Thank you.
That's what he says.
Thank you.
What it says here. So, February 5th, 1977, future 5-division world boxing champion Sugar Ray Leonard makes his professional debut with a 6-round unanimous decision over Luis Vega.
He was amazing. Leonard
Vega was good too, though.
Nice
If I
guy too.
remember.
Leonard's an amazing guy. He was, he was just so fast. It was bizarre. He was in the '76 Olympics. That was probably the best team we ever had. The '76 Olympics.
You were in the '76 Olympics?
No. That was Sugar Ray Leonard. You had heavyweight was Holyfield. No, Holyfield was 80. So '76 there was they had Leonard. They had Howard Davis. They had who was the heavyweight that year? Darn it, not Tyrell Biggs. Was it Biggs? Or Biggs was 80. Let me think. See, who was the heavyweight in '76?
You're asking me the wrong. I was
No,
born in
he's gonna-
seven.
he's gonna
I
Google.
wouldn't.
He's
I
gonna
wouldn't know.
Google.
I was born in.
Yeah,
seven.
I was sitting here looking at it. Of course, they have. Man, you got me going through all
'76
this.
Olympics.
Yeah.
Who the team was?
Why was Tyson never in the Olympics?
Well, he didn't have a good pro style. He lost to Henry Tillman, the guy I was just telling you about.
Yeah.
And Tillman, I sparred with Tillman a bunch, and he wasn't a big puncher, but he was a really good boxer. So if you stay away from Tyson for 3 rounds, that's how you win the
Stay
fight.
away from.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So this was the team, U.S. boxing team that won 7 medals,
Yeah, that's
five gold, 1 silver, 1 bronze, and it sparked the careers of heavyweight champion Leon Spinks,
Leon Spinks, that's it.
Michael Spinks, John Tate, and Sugar Ray Leonard.
John Tate, John Tate was in a famous fight. He fought Mike Weaver. He won every round, 14 rounds. He got knocked out
Damn.
the 15th round.
Oh, that's right. We talked about that on the last show.
And then even worse, he stripped. What's his name? Mike Weaver wound up hooking up with his wife. It was terrible. His house got robbed. I'm not kidding. His house got robbed. It was like a country western song, man.
That does.
I lost the fight.
Wow.
He won every single round except for the 15th. Got knocked out
in the
and then
15th
he
round.
lost his wife too.
Well, he lost her, but
To the same dude?
yeah, same guy. And then the house got robbed. It was crazy. He wound up dying
shit.
homeless.
No.
It was sad. He was
Yeah,
from,
that's a fist fight in the
Beale-
alley.
Damn.
Beale Street. Yeah,
Oh my
Big John.
God,
Boy,
dude.
you talk about a
John Tate.
progression of shit.
Yeah, it sucks, man.
Like, that's
That's not a good night.
That's
No,
like
that's a-
shit after shit after shit.
That's a bad week.
Damn.
That's
Nah,
a
he was
bad
tough.
week.
He was really tough, John Tate.
I guess you got to be tough when you go through all that. Wow. That's
Yeah, he wound
crazy.
up dying homeless, I think, on Beale Street in Tennessee. He's from Tennessee.
Okay.
Wow.
Jeez.
Damn.
All right. I
love-
don't know how to
love
move
Bill
on
Street.
from that, but I will.
Yeah.
February 6, 1967, Muhammad Ali pummels Ernie Terrell for 15 rounds to retain his world heavyweight boxing crown, actually at Houston Astrodome.
Nice.
Yeah. Terrell was tough, really tough. I mean, going 15 rounds with Ali is no joke,
Well, yeah, I was going to say that's crazy going that long with that dude. I can't imagine.
I mean, and how you went 12 with Foreman?
Yeah.
And for the cards, a lot of people are biased, said that you would have won that fight or should have won that fight. But 12 with Foreman or 15 with Ali?
Well, Foreman was totally different. Ali was, he was just so quick, but he, Foreman was a much harder puncher than Ali. I mean, definitely Foreman in his younger days, he was just a beast for 3 or 4 rounds. But when I fought him, he was so relaxed in there. He would just, you looked at him, he looked like Abdullah the Butcher, but he would go 12 rounds in his sleep.
He looked heavy. I remember,
He did, yeah,
being
he
from Houston and shooting the show here in Houston. Like George Foreman's is a public figure here in Houston, obviously. And when I remember him going back at 44, 45, trying to win the title, and he looked overweight, but man, he would sit in there for at round 10. You're like, how is this guy still hitting? Because you would think he was out of shape.
He's just so relaxed. And the other thing, he had no jab at all. When he did his first go around, he had no jab. He would just throw big bombs. And then Archie Moore came and he scripted his comeback. It was amazing. Archie Moore showed him how to do the certain type of defense because Archie Moore was the mongoose. He used to keep his hands up like that. And Foreman did the same thing. But the other thing Moore did was give him such a tough. His jab was probably his best punch when he came back. It was a punch he didn't have when he started his first career.
Was that what it was like for you against him?
When I used to spar with him when I first came down there, I was an amateur, and I'd go out. He had a place on Parker and 59. I go out there and spar with him, and I would always have this weird bump on my nose. He would do this weird jab, and he would just chop down on my nose. I had this big bump. I was getting so mad. Then I went to camp with him in Marshall, Texas. There, and we would just come in. I've never seen anybody do it before or somebody do it after. He would spar 15 rounds with no rest in between. So he'd line guys up. So I'd be one. There'd be like 4 of us, and we'd just line up, and he would just keep us going. So we'd be coming in fresh, and he would be going.
Oh, shit.
It was crazy.
They would, you would go for 3 minutes, and then you get in the back behind 3 other
and you
people.
couldn't talk. Foreman was a tough guy. He did not. You couldn't talk. You couldn't do anything in his camp. He was a tough guy.
Damn.
And back in the day, they say he was one of the roughest guys ever. Sparring partners would want to get paid, and he would just beat them up and tell them to take a walk.
Like you couldn't talk in the gym?
No, we couldn't talk. No, he couldn't talk. He was the boss. That was it. The only thing, he would be out there fishing with like a bamboo ball. Like I was like, hey, what's up, big champ? And he would just go like that. That was it. Okay. But he was serious. I mean, it's his camp. So
that dude didn't need to do a lot of talking.
Joe Ciccia says Lou beat
Joe
Foreman.
Ciccia.
Yeah, Ciccia.
My man.
He said that you beat Foreman.
Big Joe. Thanks, Joe. I appreciate that.
Here's
Joe,
a question.
were you on my baseball team? I think Joe was on my baseball team.
You had a baseball team? How far did you hit the fucking ball?
Oh, dude, I can hit the ball far. But the problem was that curve. It wasn't good.
The curveball you couldn't hit?
Nah, I couldn't hit it.
You was in Major League.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
Fuck you, Joe Boo.
Yeah, Major League.
That's Lou up at the plate, like cursing the bat out.
My dad was a coach, PBA.
Looks like a toothpick.
He threw a fastball. He threw a fastball, and he's like, "Man, this dude's
That was
going
my
to
true
lead."
love baseball, man. I wish him, but
Throw him to two, and then you're
Yeah,
like, "Oh shit." But that's all good. So I was going to ask, what do you think George Foreman is more famous for, his grill or his boxing?
His boxing, absolutely.
You think
really,
so? You think if you went and asked, you went and surveyed a bunch of people?
You want to hear the craziest thing? You talk about some weird stuff. I went my gym downtown. A lot of homeless guys, and I went down. And I always mess with this one homeless guy called him Car Wash, and I take care of him. Funny guy. And I looked over. They have like some graffiti guy put a painting of me like on the wall, and there was a George Foreman grill right next to my picture. It was crazy.
Oh, I think you showed me that.
That was nuts.
That's
man.
kinda cool.
It was so
I think
cool.
you showed me that.
Yeah, that's dope.
I think you showed me that. February 6th.
And I was wait, hold on. Even more crazy. When I fought Foreman, I was vegetarian, and he had a grill.
You had
You were vegetarian
You
at
were
that
veg-
time?
Yeah, 15
I got a
years.
question for you
15
because
years.
Ricky Williams, Arian Foster, a couple of NFL
Yeah.
players went vegetarian.
They're vegan. They were
right, or
vegan. So
vegans.
I was
like,
vegetarian.
is that? Did it affect you in the ring? Like, was it better if you were vegan or vegetarian, or does protein help you?
Well, I mean, it's how much protein you need. Protein definitely helps you to build. You know, you have to have protein to build muscle, but it was more carbohydrates at that time that I was, worried about. I mean, I was big enough, but I did. I mean, I was a pescatarian. I still ate fish, but I ate for 15 years, I was religious. I ate no dairy, no beef, no chicken, nothing.
What was the reason for it?
I read this book called Diet for a New America. It was the heir to Baskin Robbins, the ice cream place.
Yeah.
Yeah, so his son, he wrote this book. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, there was a lot of illness in my family, a lot of cancer and stuff, so I just wanted to eat really clean. And a lot of countries where they didn't have much beef, people would not have cancer.
You still practice that today at minimum?
No, I'm actually the total opposite. I'm a big keto guy. I really
Keto, gotcha.
Yeah, there's a lot of science behind the keto, but the one thing that Atkins was the original guy that figured out that if you didn't have, our body uses glycogen for fuel, but he figured out if you don't have glycogen for fuel, it takes the ketones from your liver, and that's why they say getting ketosis, and he uses that for energy. So that's what I do now. I do the keto thing, and it really works. And like a lot of physicians I know are doing it. Really, there's a lot of science behind it.
So you were doing it before it was cool.
No.
Like
I jumped on the
ADD.
bandwagon. But
Yeah.
no.
But before it was
Well, because now it is like that, like you said,
Yeah,
like no
careful.
athletes before, no athletes were doing anything like that, but
Yeah.
now it's a thing now. I mean, a lot of guys are talking about like it's a big
Yeah, were there
deal.
other
What, keto or
athletes
no?
going? Were there other athletes going
the
vegan?
the vegetarian? Because like
No,
it wasn't kind of it wasn't a thing
yeah,
back
no,
then.
I was the only one. I was the only. Larry Merchant used to call me the tofu eating heavyweight. So, and there was one more guy from Croatia. His name was Zelko Makovic, and he was another vegetarian.
Okay.
Well, hey, thank you guys for paying attention. Thank you all on Facebook for all your comments. We'll try to get to them when we can. This is Lights Out with Lou Savarese over here at Fight Fit, his gym here in Houston. He has two of them. We're sitting here talking with the former heavyweight champ, and we're going to do it every Wednesday at 8 p.m. from his gym, Fight Fit. So you guys definitely pay attention.
I want to get
Wednesday.
Bobby Benton on. We got to get him on. Nice guy.
Yeah, we get Bobby on.
I know all about the old fights. He knows the new
Bang.
fights.
There you go. I like that. Johnny. Oh, was that in the back? Oh, the Ring Girls. Yeah, we'll have Ring Girls every Wednesday. So
Absolutely.
Trinity, the
thank
Ring
you,
Girl.
Trinity. Thank you, Trinity.
Thank you.
Doing a great job.
People are paying attention. For every 5 minutes, Trinity walks around the ring.
Yes, absolutely. A couple more. February 6th, and we were talking about him earlier. 1993. Riddick Bowe.
Can I say one thing though?
Go ahead.
I never understood why don't they have? I mean, it's not really fair. You have ring card girls. Why don't you have ring card guys? I mean, not that's not my thing, but I'm just saying they should do that.
Well, I mean, you brought it up. Is that you want to see a ring card guy?
Well, Yeah, it's not my thing, but I think it should be. I think it should be fair. Why women should
It's 2021.
Why
like,
do we
I know. I mean,
we're
just
probably
give
going to
it a little bit.
Yeah, we're
why,
going to
give it a
why
little
do we,
bit.
or maybe
It'll happen.
why do we repress women? I mean, they can't have fun.
Boy, you
and look
must
at
be
some beefcake.
outside your mind.
Thank you, Johnny. Thank you.
No, you can't have some beefcake. I mean, come on,
Yeah.
girls. What do you mind?
Yeah, I mean, if me and Grant were doing a show and you're walking around the back, we're going to have less viewers, I promise, than if she's walking around.
Oh, you don't even know that, dude. I have a big following.
And speaking of that, follow
I think
Lou.
I met
Listen,
Kendall.
so pull up Lou on Instagram, Facebook, on any of his new modeling photos. Y'all have got to see these things, man.
They're fierce.
Lou went back to he channeled his inner 20s for these things. They're impressive.
Oh yeah.
I mean, a couple of them were really cool because you were just kind of like, you're really
Like,
getting into it.
what are you doing later, man?
Yeah.
No, just saying.
Hey, we've gone from that
Wanna
to
do a
ring
car
guys. So what do you know?
What's your other gym's name?
What's that?
The back door.
Oh, stop.
Right? That was your gym. That was the gym name, right?
Back door,
That's what you were going to open
Where
up.
we
Back
stick
door
and move.
Sticking.
Let's go.
Then we can have ring card guys. Like we'll
There you
just
go.
do the
That's
show
perfect,
from there.
dude.
Stick
Absolutely.
and move. Stick and move.
Yes.
Come on. Why do we gotta digress, man? Jeez.
I don't know. Jeff did it.
My bad.
Yeah, Jeff did it.
I wish we could conversate a little differently.
Yeah, I know. And then, of course, February 6, 1993, Riddick Bowe TKO's Michael Dokes in one for
But, oh
heavyweight
man,
boxing title.
that was unbelievable. People were worried. Dokes was a really tough guy, and he broke his legs in a car accident. Both his legs, Dokes, before that fight, but relatively close. But Bowe was just a beast. I mean, that was I think the fight was at the Garden. I was at that fight, but I couldn't believe that he knocked him out. People were really in shock. Bowe was just a beast. I mean, he should have been the greatest fighter.
Guido says you need to open up that gym. He said it's your thing.
Yeah, I know he'll be there. I'm sure. I got one customer.
Yeah.
Guido. Oh my
I
God.
like Guido. We got to go to New York and get the show there, man. Like it
be
would be
fun.
loud as hell.
Hey Ed, why don't he should come out now? I mean, it's cool. I mean, he's
come
been
on.
living in the closet for years. Just come out. I respect him.
Oh, you
Hey,
okay.
somewhat.
I didn't. All
we
right.
can do
I
that.
won't give him.
That's
I
not a
won't
problem.
give him a spot or nothing.
But for those people that are watching or listening now that haven't before, that's who you said Riddick Bowe is.
He should have been the greatest fighter ever. I think a lot of guys agree. He just could punch. He could do everything. He was a funny guy. I mean, just crazy.
You said it was one of the hardest punches.
Yeah. Oh yeah. A lot of guys say that. They say Bowe was probably the hardest puncher. He was just. I mean, that's when I really respected Holyfield when he went toe to toe with Bowe. Bowe could just punch, man.
Yeah.
He was a dirty fighter too, man. They said it was the dirtiest fight in amateur history.
What's the deal? Okay, so that trainer I mentioned earlier that passed away,
Yeah.
he lost a lot of credit because he said he cut Ali's glove. Do you remember that story?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Okay, so what happened on
that? Was Dundee, though. Dundee cut Ali's stuff.
Okay, so what was the story on that?
Okay, well, let's get our training straight, dude. What are you saying? The other guy I never heard of. That's made Dundee favorite. Ali was fighting Henry Cooper, and Henry Cooper had brine on his gloves. And so Ali was going to quit. He said, I can't see. So Dundee, thinking on his feet, obviously, he went and he slid his glove and said, hey, he told the referee, he said, look, his glove is cut. So he got a rest. Otherwise, Ali was going to quit. I mean,
He got a rest. So they didn't call the fight.
No, they said, you got to fix the glove. It's ripped.
So what, it took 5-7 minutes? He got a 5-7 minute rest?
And he wound up coming back and knocking
came
him
out.
out. Yeah,
Okay. So that's the story.
There's different types of trainers. There's trainers that are very good technical teachers. There's some guys that are really good in the corner. That's really important. There's some great trainers, but when they get in the corner, there's a lot going on. You have to stay really calm too. That's a big.
Is
part
that
of it.
considered a good trainer that does something like that? It sees you might have a weakness or failing in the fight, and then he does. Obviously, that's not legal.
That's smart. I mean, that's
smart
ingenious.
though.
Yeah, I mean, think his whole career would have been different. I mean, he went over before Henry Cooper. He was a huge. Everybody. Ali told a joke. I don't remember how it went, but he said that there was like 999,000 people in there, and one of them was rooting for his mom was there. But he said everybody else was rooting against him, and they wanted him to lose, And so that was, he would have lost. I mean, his whole career probably would have changed because of that.
What are you looking for in a good corner guy? If you got somebody that is good for you,
some guys can do with like a rah guy. I didn't like that. I like how my guy Bobby Benton or Potato Pie. They're just really. My old trainer, Potato Pie. Oh, he was amazing.
That's awesome.
Sweet potato pie. He has his own language. He trained me for 7 years, and we were at a training camp, and I was fighting foreman, and we were at a training camp, and some lady said, hey, what's his name? He goes, oh, that's my big old white boy, Lou Savarese. I said, bye, what's my name? He said, oh, you know what? I said, you shut up, you keep fighting. You don't get paid to talk punch, my brother. Just punch. He was funny. He had his own language. He was Unbelievable trainer. He had 5 world champions at one time.
Damn.
Yeah.
But what would he do in the corner that you like so much?
He could pick stuff out, tell you what to do right. He was good, and he was calm in there in the corner. That's a big part of it. Like Bobby, same thing with Bobby Benton. And Bobby Benton, he's a hands-on guy if you see him. That's another thing a lot of trainers want to do. Like Pius not going to go out there and run with you. He just expected you to run. That was it, But some guys, I call them hands-on guys. And so that's great. If you get an older guy that's, he doesn't need that. But some young guys, they need a little bit of, a little bit of coaching and a little bit of babysitting too, and that's a big part of it,
Yeah. Okay.
Gotcha. That's good.
A couple birthdays I was going to talk about this week. February 1st, actually, we talked about it Monday on the show. 1987, Ronda Rousey was born. Her birthday was on February the 1st. What's your thoughts on Ronda?
You know she was not a boxer, right?
Well, we've talked about UFC before.
Oh, have we?
Yeah, we have.
That's great.
So I figured that would be okay. But
She
I thought
actually
I brought
carried.
her up.
I think she carried the UFC for a little bit.
Oh, absolutely.
There was a moment in time there where the UFC didn't, and they're great at marketing and promoting their fighters, obviously.
She was tough.
But yeah, I mean, they marketed and promoted her, and we've talked about Conor McGregor and how he just got knocked down, and when you saw Rousey get knocked down, it's sort of like the end. You're like, why are you getting back up? And she did. She got back in and she got beat up again.
Interesting. I'm going to bring it back to boxing. I mean, think about it. It was a time with Christy Martin, Ali, Layla Ali started.
Yep.
But now you don't hear anything about women's boxing.
Because I think they're all going to
Well,
UFC
hopefully,
eventually.
let's say Layla Ali or somebody of her caliber gets in the ring with somebody, maybe one of these YouTube idiots, and she knocks them out. Now, that would be fun. That would bring women's boxing to the forefront, stuff like that, because you think Layla Ali could box?
How old is
one
Layla
of these,
Ali now? She's gonna be
somebody of her caliber.
Okay.
Do you think that they, like a woman's boxer like that, could fight like a Jake Paul, one of these YouTube stars?
That'd be good though. I'm sure she could. She probably beat him.
I mean, they're trained. Like
There's some
it's
women.
different.
There was a girl that used to train downtown. She could beat a lot of guys. There was a lady when I used to train at this gym, and she was Jackie T, the lady Muhammad Ali. This lady was a beast, man. Oh my God.
Layla Ali is 43 years old.
Oh, she's still young, somewhat.
February 4th is what is today? The 3rd, so tomorrow is Oscar De La Hoya's birthday. So I just want to get your opinion on Oscar and
he was amazing. He was a great fighter, really good for boxing. I mean, he was one of the guys. He would, he did a little bit of everything. He was people really liked him. Women were in love with him. He was a good-looking guy. He was a great fighter.
What do you think about him now, though?
In what sense?
Because he moved to promoter,
Yeah.
and Canelo dropped him,
Yeah.
and I'm not going to compare him to other promoters.
Yeah,
but
he's kind of the face of the business in the sense that he's not that involved in the sense that there's a couple of guys, I can't remember the guys behind him, but he has a lawyer behind him that kind of does most of the, not that he couldn't.
yeah, they use his face, obviously, and name.
He's the face of the business.
But is he, Don King?
He's a smart guy.
Don King, you told the story to us before how you walked into Don King's. You tell that story real quick. When you walked into Don King's hotel room.
Yeah, no, King. That wasn't a hotel room. It was King's. Don King's. We went to his
brownstone.
Yeah, it's brownstone in 64th and Madison, New York City, and we went to go there to get a promotion. And it was like getting it to Get Smart. I mean, we went to all these doors. They wouldn't let my uncle come with me, and we were in there for like 10 minutes. And he said, "You hear that? You hear that?" I said, "No, sir." And he said, "A white boy that can fight. That's money." He said, "Oh man, we're gonna make a lot of money." And I started getting all pumped up. And then he said, we talked for like 10 minutes, and then this came in. This lady came in and said, "How do you spell your last name?" And I told her, and like literally 10 minutes later, they had a contract for me. I was like, "Oh my goodness!" And he said, "Just sign it. Come on. You hear that?" I said, "No, that's money. White boy that can fight." And anyway, he kept doing that, and thank God I didn't sign the contract.
You didn't sign the contract.
Yeah.
But a lot of people are comparing him kind of to like the Don King, and that's why Canelo left. He's trying to do his own. And there's a lot of self-promoting now with all these fighters.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you can do it, it's a good thing, and it's a good thing in a sense. I mean, you don't want to have monopoly, and that's why, like, everybody would talk about King and Aaron, but they were kind of like GM and Chrysler. They kept a monopoly on things, so.
Yeah. We got a couple more minutes. You got some more birthdays? Or we good?
Well, I just wanted to bring up, not necessarily a birthday, but I was going to bring up a death, and I just wanted to get your opinion here. February 1st, 2012, it was the passing of Angelo Dundee.
Oh, what a gentleman. He was one of my favorite people in boxing, one of the nicest guys. He was so cool. About a year before he passed, he calls me up, and he's talking to me. He's like, "Hold on, there's something important." But he's talking to his wife. I forget her name. It was so cute. He was just a gentleman, really nice guy. Great trainer, too.
Yeah, it said he was boxing trainer and cornerman for Muhammad Ali for 21 years and 15 other world boxing.
And he
champions.
didn't box. He never boxed, so that was kind of interesting. But he was just a great trainer.
Died at the age of 90.
Nice guy.
Hey,
man.
90.
It's a good run.
That's a good run for
I'll be
sure.
a drooling mess by the time I'm 70.
And then February 2nd, I'm sorry, I can't talk. February 2nd, 2005, Max Schmeling passed away. Died at the age of 99.
Oh, wow, Schmeling, what a beast. I mean, he fought. This is really interesting. And I got to fact check this, but him and Joe Louis fought. But that was like when Louis fought Schmeling, that was when Hitler was around, and it was, all about, it was so Louis had to go back over there. He got knocked out by Schmeling with a big right hand. Louis had to go over there. Can you imagine the whole country? I mean, you talk about pressure. The whole country, he wound up beating him. And Schmeling, you talk about pressure from him. That was Nazi Germany. He lost to this guy. But it's a really cool thing. They stayed friends for years, and they ran a marathon together. It was pretty cool.
That's
All
awesome,
right.
man.
Yeah.
I love that.
It's 9 o'clock, y'all. Listen, I want to thank Lou Savarese, myself, Grant Miles, and obviously Fight Fit. What's the address here and what we got going on here?
Well, you asked me tough questions.
Oh,
We have not.
that's true.
4215 Bel Air Boulevard. And I want to thank BB Italia for the great pizza and original kolache shop. You guys got to go there. I haven't been there in
Oh, yeah, we got food.
Probably 4 hours. I was there today. You got to go to this place. It's unbelievable.
Well, and of course, and also too, we want to thank. I know they had to step out for a little bit. They were just here a while ago, but Construction Concepts also helping us out a little bit with this. Josh and Mark were up here just supporting. And for those that don't know what they are, they're Construction Concepts. They're changing corporate culture one design at a time, from hospitality, corporate, luxury, retail, and medical facilities. Give them a call at 713-589-2682.
And I think he threw me out of his club once a long time ago.
Josh,
Remember he had a club over there?
Yeah. What was Johnny? What was the one that was all white up front? Huh? Joya. Yeah, because he told me that story. You were at Joya.
Dude, that's a long time ago. It's all white, you said?
What was?
What did you say, all
that
white?
Was 12, 14 years
Oh,
ago?
no, he meant all white.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Did he kick you out because you had a fake ID? Is that why?
No. I don't remember what happened.
Oh, okay. All right.
We're going to get all we can give.
Listen to this.
Don't you cry. Don't you pout. You're going to be hanging with the boys and Louis. Lights out. I'm all shaven and looking clean. We're bringing back knowledgeable boxing to the scene. Hold on tight. Don't let go. Sit back and enjoy the show.
That's your boy, Lou.
Yeah, Guido, you can break dance. I can rap, bitch. Sorry. I got my rap
I
mode.
love it. I
That's
love
all right,
it.
dude.
That's a female
That's all
dog.
right.
That's a female dog. You got it. No, I mean, listen, this is not a PG show. And listen, we want to thank Guido and all the people from New York. Austin,
Hey, hold on.
Howard.
Somebody said Joe D'Ambrosio said you played Schmeling.
I did, yeah, I did.
You
Okay,
did?
there you
Yeah,
go.
and the Cinderella Man.
Nice.
Yeah, it was cool.
Oh, you were in the Cinderella Man?
Not the movie, it was a docudrama.
Oh,
yeah. It was my biggest part, the most money I ever made, and it was the most lines I had to remember, which really was hard.
Well, listen, we're going to try to get some more people in here next week from New York. We'll try to get Cooney on. I know you love him.
We'll get him
I love talking to
And
that
I
guy.
want to try
too.
and get some of the world champions right here in Houston. It'd be fun.
Yeah,
That'd
we'll
be
get some
awesome.
on. We've got your boy here. What's his name? The fighter?
Regis
Steven. Steven Roman, man.
Steven Roman.
Steven, thanks for coming out. Steve.
Appreciate you, Steven. Want to thank Johnny J. Want to thank Lou Savarese, obviously, and Savarese Fight Fit. My boy Grant Miles. I'm Jeff Michael. Listen, every Wednesday at 8 p.m. we are going to go live, and it'll be up on your podcast on every single one, wherever you get your podcast. It's up on Thursday morning. So when you're in your car, in the shower, if you want to open up a gym.
Oh, you want somebody to listen to while they're in the shower?
Yeah, Lou's backdoor gym.
Stop
with
it.
Guido. But we appreciate y'all listening, especially y'all that came here to enjoy
absolutely. Thank
enjoy
y'all.
this.
Thank you.
We welcome y'all every single Wednesday to come check it out. We got pizza and drinks, and for those of y'all watching, we appreciate y'all, and we'll see y'all next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Y'all.
Lights out.
We out.
Yeah.